Hi guys. So we're back. It took a little bit longer to get this all figured out than I had originally planned when we made the gadget. But in that video, I asked all you if you had any ideas or recommendations of what we should do for a follow-up video. Leave it in the comments down below. And you did. And one of them that I saw a couple times that stuck out was people were saying, and rather than making a 120 millimeter fan with 15 little fans, we should make one big fan with 120 millimeter fans, 15 of them, to go on like a PC case or something. And I was like, it's a pretty good idea. We've already made a PC size fan before. We could use that as a template and just kind of scale it up. And then I got to thinking about it a little more. In order to do that, if we want to stay, consistent with the theme of this little doodad, we have to get 15 A12x25s, and these are great fans. Don't get me wrong, but they're $40, and that's I don't know about that, guys. That was pretty high up for just a bunch of fans for a weird little project. So I kind of just waited a little bit, and then I decided, why not just reach out to Noctua, see if they'd be interested in sponsoring the video, providing 15 fans for this experiment. You might not know this, but I do have a contact at Noctua that I've known for a long time. They've sent me stuff for other videos in the past, and they've always been really great for my channel. They've never asked questions. They're always like, sure, you want this? Here you go, make it for this video. And when I was like, hey, will you guys be willing to send 15 fans over to kind of make a follow-up video to the gadget fan?
You sure about that?
They said yes without any questions and sent over a bunch of A12x25s. In addition to that, they also provided some material this time, so we can actually use the actual Noctua colors on this giant monstrosity. And then they also gave me a mouse pad, like a big mouse desk pad, and that was unexpected and actually pretty darn good. I've grown to actually like the Noctua brown colors over the years, and I was using that last night in Battlefield 6, and it's pretty smooth. I'm a big fan. I'm thankful for that. So now that we have our material here to create a big version of that thing, let me show you what we're going to try to do. Today's video is sponsored by Opera. Opera isn't just a web browser. It's a complete web navigation tool. Opera is designed for the way you actually use the web. It's fast, it's secure, it's packed with features that genuinely improve your day-to-day browsing. With Opera's smart sidebar, your favorite apps are just one click away, and it just got even better. In the latest update, Google services are now integrated directly into the sidebar. Add your Google Calendar or Gmail and make your workflow even more seamless. One of my favorite features in Opera is the tab management. Opera solves this with tab islands. This feature groups related tabs into their own little island, keeping your browser clean and organized. For example, at my day job, I do a lot of design work where I'm browsing for McMaster Car, Masumi, Festo. I'm just looking all over the place for parts. Doing this often leaves me with multiple tabs open, with tons of parts open, all across different websites. Opera gives me the ability to manually place all McMaster Car parts into one island, all the Masumi parts into one island, and all the Festo parts into their own island as well. This way I can keep my design thoughts organized and spend less time clicking around all these different tabs trying to remember what I was just looking at 15 seconds ago. On top of that, you also get tab traces, which is extremely helpful. This feature helps you track where you've been by knowing where you are. Recently visited tabs will get a small underscore, and the darker the underscore, the more recent you visited that tab. And when a new tab just isn't enough, you got too much going on, Opera lets you switch things into split screen mode, placing up to 4 tabs in their own individual screen, which this is very useful for what I do at work. A lot of the times I'm like comparing parts, like say a Festo valve and like a generic one from McMaster Car, and I'm trying to see which one I want based on their price and their spec and the material they're used. And clicking back and forth the tabs is sometimes good, but it's much better to have them side by side in the same window where I can look at the specs and see exactly where they're different and exactly where they're the same. And with Opera AI built in, it makes your browsing experience even faster, helping you find what you need even quicker with less effort. Opera AI is included for no fee, no extensions, no extra tabs. You don't even need an account. Just open up Opera and Opera AI is ready to go. It can analyze web pages, summarize videos, translate content. It can even help you fact check by finding sources for an article that you've just read. And I use it to quickly find specifications about the certain parts that I'm looking at. Opera delivers speed, productivity, and efficiency all in one browser. Switch to Opera today using the link in the description below and take it for a test drive. Okay, so you probably remember this from a previous video. This is the big old case fan, the one that I made to fit on the side, or basically replace the side panel of my 011 Dynamic XL. So I know that this fan will fit on that case. And this is a pretty big fan. This is a big boy. It's about 465 millimeters and 480 in the other. So it's not a perfect square because the case isn't a perfect square, but it'll get the job done. So my idea was that I would just take this fan frame that we've already used and we know that it fits and just create enough surface area that I could fit 15 120 millimeter fans onto it. Now I will admit the problem is that I requested the fans before I made sure that that would actually fit. So I got a little nervous about that, but essentially all we got to do is just make the dome bigger, right? And then we can somehow make them fit. So let me show you what I came up with. So this is the end goal. It actually did fit just barely. As you can see, we have the same exact frame. I just kind of made it look a little more Noctua A12x25-ish. And all of our fans are just kind of sunk into the surface of the dome, giving us the 15 fans that we wanted. Now, dealing with the cables is something we'll have to work with after we get this printed and hopefully it goes together. The idea is maybe that these fans will just sit in there without needing to be screwed down. If not, we'll just drill through the fan and add some screws from the backside maybe. I don't know, we'll figure that out. In addition to that, I just kind of made some of these, I don't know, anti-vibration pads that we can print in the brown color to make it more Noctua-ish, you could say. Now this is still a big fan, and I remember last time when I made the case fan that it took a while to make it because I had to break it into 4 pieces. So I know I'm gonna have to break this one into 4 pieces, but now we're really high actually. I hope that we fit within the print area. Let's see where it is right here. 292, so that just barely fits within my H2D and H2S. So we can fit it after it's broken into 4 pieces. It's just gonna take a long time to print this thing. Now because we were using the same fan as I had already printed for the case side fan, I knew it was gonna take forever, even longer because it's now almost as tall as the whole print volume of the H2D and H2S. As soon as the filament showed up, I completed the design and sent it to the printer. And that one on my H2S just completed, not too long ago. So as long as everything in this design works out, we won't have an issue. Now you're gonna notice there's a difference in color here on this one. This specific piece, that's because I asked for 3 spools of beige and 1 of brown because that's how much I needed to do this big fan. That was my guesstimate, which I was right. But given how long it took to print this thing, I wanted to do it in both printers at the same time, just to half the amount of time we'd have to wait. Because each one of these pieces, this is like 24 to 25 hours per piece. And I ran out of the first spool and it was still running in this printer, so I had to switch to the old spool that we used for the gadget until that one finished, and then I could finish off with this right color. But that's the only one that's messed up. Don't look at that one. And as long as everything fits together, my design is not broken, we'll be good to go, because if something needs redesigned, I only have this much left, and this is not enough. So let's cross our fingers. Welcome back to day 2 now. This took a bit longer than I thought. The material, the support material, came off really easy. I was actually surprised at how well it just popped off there, not using any like PETG interface material, just straight up PLA for everything. Cable management in the back. Don't really pay much attention to that. It's a little bit of a disaster. I used a lot of Y connectors, and that was pretty much it. Just connected all the fans down using Y connectors till I had one plug, and we're gonna run them like that. Hopefully, unless I mess something up. But let's plug it in and see how she goes. Alrighty. Are they all? Oh, this one's not moving. Oh, two are not moving. Oh, wait a minute. It came unplugged. We can fix this. Oh, wait a minute. All right, we got them all going. 15 fans all spinning as one now. Honestly, pretty quiet. If I'm going to be honest, it just basically sounds like one. It's not loud at all. My computer that's running right now just on the desktop is louder than these 15 Noctuas. Except for when that happened, whatever cable was rubbing. It's blowing decent air, I'm not going to lie to you. Whatever it's rubbing on's got to stop, though. Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! Stop it! There we go. Should we see if it moves air? All right, I should have done that last. There's a lot of smoke in here now. But before we put it on my PC and see if it actually improves my thermal performance, which it actually might because it moves a lot of air. I always get asked how much power is it pulling, so we're going to try that out right now. So I have my power supply hooked up to it. You can see it's pulling 0.04 watts just at idle. We'll turn it on and just see how much the fan or whatever in the power supply pulls. 6.1 watts. Now we will add one A12x25 and compare it to our 15 Superdome, 8.1 watts, up from 6.1. Now let's see what the big boy does. Make sure all our fans are spinning. Around 27.6 watts, so a bit more. But we got a lot more air. Anyway, let's put it on my PC and see how well it does, if it makes anything better. It's obviously going to make me draw more power, but once if the performance is incredible. Ta-da! Actually, if we're going to see if it works, I should probably run it as is. Play a little Battlefield 6 with the glass panel on there. Let it get up to temperature, because it normally runs pretty hot. And then we'll throw this on and see if it gets any better. This worked pretty good. It started as a meme, but I think I might actually leave this on my PC because of how well the thermals were. Now I should explain why this probably works so good on my specific setup. My PC, the way I build it, I have two radiators, top and bottom, and the fans are both exhausting. So the top radiator blows air up and the bottom radiator blows air down, and I did that just because I wanted to see the fans since they're RGB fans. There are better ways to arrange the fans in this PC to make it do better, but I didn't worry about that. I just let it go how it is. And it normally gets pretty hot during gaming. So while I was playing Battlefield 6, after a couple of games, I looked at Ryzen Master to see what the temperatures were. And I was showing 86.34, and in Ryzen Master, the maximum temperature is always set to about 90 C. After that game ended, I took off the glass panel, put on this thing, put the top back on, played a couple more games, and then looked at the temperatures, which were 66.91, meaning I dropped about 20 degrees Celsius just by putting the Superdome on the front of my PC. And it's pretty incredible. And it's not even loud. It's still on right now, and it doesn't make that much noise. Now, could I get better performance if I set my fans up better and turned up the speed profiles so they were louder? Yes. Do I? No. But I do like this. Now there's no dust shielding, so any dust in the room is just going to get blown into my PC. But given I exhaust from both fans anyway, and I just let the normal air just passively come in the back, I get a lot of dust anyhow. Another thing I noticed right out of the gate, as soon as I put this on and turned it on, sitting here, I could feel, like I can still feel a constant breeze coming out the back of the PC, the top, the bottom. This thing is pushing a tremendous amount of air into my computer, and the temperatures I'm getting reflect that. It's kind of nuts. So that being said, I mean, we made that one, right, to be funny, and it worked surprisingly well. And then you guys told me to make this one, and so we did, and it actually turns out to work very well, and I might just leave it on my PC as is. And given how good it performs, if you have an 011, like a Lee & Lee 011 Dynamic XL case like I do, I'll put this on Thingiverse, and you could print this out, you could fill it with Noctuas, you could print it any color you want, and throw it on as a front case cover and get some really good performance out of it. Or I'd be interested to see if somebody else's computer is set up more optimally for thermals, what this would do putting on there. But from what I see right now, for my PC setup, it's pretty darn good. So if you have any future video ideas, if you got anything crazy like this you want to see me try to do, let me know in the comments down below. I'm always watching, and we'll give it a shot.